Do you see this? Star Trek. So whenever I think of this uniform culture in East Asia, we studied a lot of those rank badges, right? Like ceremonial robes, and it is expected that everybody wear the same clothes. And a classic example would be Star Trek, right? Like because they are flying spaceship together, the idea is they come from all those different planets, right? In this case, it's not just ethnic group. They come from different planets, right? And speak different languages, but they are the crew in the same aircraft. So they wear this design. I sometimes wonder, like, who designed the Star Trek costume, but this is really an example of people wearing the same uniform, and then we take it for granted, right? Like this is aircraft or like a spaceship, so it's really natural that everybody wears the same design and the same logo. But the idea of Star Trek is it's a harmonious world of multi-planet cosmos, right? It's not just a word, cosmos, but in a way it's a miniature world of the US. What is happening in 1960s, continuously 70s, multi-ethnic workforce in a company. It's even more right now. So who does not belong here? Well, I mean, I thought it's really interesting question for us. But speaking of this uniform culture, people were very obsessed with the futuristic ideas of a spaceship, right? And then also futuristic ideas of new innovative textiles as well. So do you know Pierre Cardin, a French designer? He just passed away, I think 2020. He just died. I went to see a big exhibition at the Brooklyn Museum before pandemic, I think 2019 or something. So in it, this is when the moon, the Apollo, what's the Apollo 11? Is it Apollo 11? Who landed on the moon? That just took place. So that the avant-garde designers like Pierre Cardin, they were interested in new thermal textiles. They were pressed. They are synthetic thermal. It's a synthetic textile pressed in the heat. Then it becomes a little bit similar to George. Do you know the textile called George? So there is no wrinkles. Pretty sturdy and functional. Anyhow, Pierre Cardin created a clothing line using those, thermal textiles, and in the spirit of spaceship crews, right? So this kind of design was very popular, along with the popularity of miniskirt in 1960s. And then it's more like what's the name of it? Sheath dress. It's like just like a cylinder style dress, minimal stitching, not a lot of construction, but you come up with a pretty good silhouette with a belt and boots. So he invented one. So it's called Cardin with the E. So there is a textile named Cardin. I was also reflecting on our, American contemporary culture. And you are familiar with this, right? Apple computer. Is this Apple? Genius Bar, right? Yeah. So Apple wear, you ask people to wear blue. Or I remember Genius Bar is mostly black in New York City. And then Microsoft, right? Their rivals, right? They ask Microsoft workers to wear these rainbow colors, right? So think about this. I mean, they are not kindergartners, but they are required to wear that company logo colors when they work. He actually matched his sneakers as well. So we have to accept it because it's coming with the job requirement, but not like aircraft carriers or food industry. Do they perform better by wearing this green shirt as opposed to his choice of like a Dunkin' Donuts, other kind of shirt? Something to think about. But more and more, we cannot resist, or we cannot say no, because it's a given, right?